hit my elbow. That hurt. My elbow's slightly wounded and I hit it. You know, during the colonial period of United States of America, there was, and I've read some examples, like literature. It was absolutely atrocious. It's like something a mentally challenged young child would create. And this is written by adults. You know, when people were settling America and they were fighting to stay alive and survive, and this is actually an important video, and I've never seen anybody discuss this before, and it's incredibly important. They think, well, you know, colonials were stupid because they didn't produce any art, and the literature was almost non-existent, and what little was produced was horrible, and that is undeniably true. But when people, and a human being, and human beings have different capacities, have only so much mental energy per day. You know, there's physical exhaustion, and then there's mental exhaustion. The reason why colonialists and different epochs of different regions throughout the world didn't produce fine art and literature, and especially philosophy. You know, you've got art and architecture and literature, but above all that, you actually have hardcore philosophy. I don't care whether you like philosophy or not. But the reason why colonial Americans didn't produce any of that, or say people living in really harsh areas of the world, like say the Inuits, for example. I mean, there's essentially no, you know, well, there is a little bit of art, and there is a tiny, tiny bit of philosophy, but nothing like what was produced by ancient Greece. And it's like, well, is it an innate quality of the Greco-Roman people that they are so famous for having produced so much literature and art, which is undeniable, and philosophy, or is it actually something else? And what has been true throughout the beginning of time for humanity is that when you have an enormous amount of time to spend on esoteric and nonlinear art, architecture, philosophy, and literature, when you have the time not to worry about saving your own skin, you know, kind of like, and unfortunately modern humanity is a really bad example, because now, you know, we're not fighting to stay alive. Well, we kind of are. We work ourselves to death just to pay the bills and the taxes and the medical bills and all this and that. But we busy ourselves, and I don't play games. People busy themselves with their free time, not towards higher pursuits, but you know, to watching TV shows and movies and games and, you know, vegging out on the couch watching reruns of I don't know what the heck. But ancient cultures like India and Greece and Rome and the Egyptians, they were of a place where they didn't have to worry about starving to death or freezing to death, you know, today or tomorrow or the next week. And their minds elevated, you know, towards, you know, higher and more esoteric, nonlinear, artistic, literature, architecture, and specifically so at the pinnacle of all that, metaphysics and philosophy. Art and philosophy have only, and if you think about this, you'll know it's true, have only ever flourished in history. I mean, they're pieces of art by people that literally work their butts off every day, but like early America, the colonialists that were fighting to stay alive, and they had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take care of the chickens and, you know, hoe the lands and milk the cows. You just, not only are you physically exhausted, all mental energy has completely evaporated to survival and existence only. Philosophy and art and music and esoteric things that are unrelated to direct imminent survival vanish in these cultures. It's not that the Greeks, and it is true, the Greeks produced an enormous amount of incredible philosophy and metaphysics. You metaphysicians such as Pythagoras, Plotinus, Proclus, Numenius, Iamblichus, Cyrianus, so on and so forth. But the reason why it was produced is not because the Greeks were like Ubermensch or superhumans, is because their society had evolved to the point where, you know, when you woke up, you know, you had your food there, you had your shelter, you know, the Romans, the Greco-Roman civilizations, uh, were working like a well-oiled machine for many countless centuries longer than the United States. Obviously so. Here we are into our what, 200 plus years. But art and philosophy and music, these things only flourish in a calm culture where, and this is also too, I wanted to get off on this topic, the things that actually irk me, like an eccentricity that I have, it absolutely annoys the hell out of me when I have to deal with mundane things. One of the greatest joys of my life, it sounds weird, is not having to mow my yard. I mean, I know I'm fat and lazy, right? I don't mind actually sweating. I mean, I sweated my guts out today and yesterday outside doing stuff, but it burns my backside. It burns me up in anger almost to have to deal with mundane, menial stuff like garbage and laundry. I'm so glad that I have at least enough free funds to pay someone to mow the yard. I'm always, thinking and constructing and building things and trying to decipher the nature of things. How the heck do you think I wrote a book on field theory or countless articles on metaphysics or translate, some really hardcore stuff of menistic metaphysics? It's because there's only so much mental energy in the day that you have, and if you spend it all worried about survival and mundane stuff, it's just, I just can't do that stuff. I block all of that stuff out of my life. This is the reason why too, everything has its place and a place for everything. And I never, some people put stuff in a different place every time, they will literally, I don't know if it's the average human being, they will waste their life looking for stuff. And it burns me when I have to spend even a microsecond of my mental energy looking for something that I know is in the house. Like, where the hell? I put the same thing in the same place every day. That way it is completely subconscious when I go out the door. I know where the keys and all this stuff. I know where everything is. Even if I close my eyes, I know right where the heck it is. I don't have to spend an iota of mental energy figuring out where stuff is. And also too, the outside of this house needs some work. It needs some upkeep. For our normal Joe, some people when they have free time, they'll work on their yard. What? I don't have any free time. I try to eke out I try not to even think about what I'm wearing. I don't. I know what the temperature is outside. I know what to grab to wear. Sometimes it's nice to shop for a new shirt or something like that, like this Funkadelic shirt. But I'm so happy that I'm never gonna, unless I get really, really flat broke, just dead broke, I'm never gonna mow that yard again. And it's not because I'm fat and lazy, which I am fat and lazy. It's because I don't want to take X amount of brain power, of which each of us only has so much per day, to spend. And if you spend 85-90% of it on mundane garbage that has nothing to do with higher thought, in my instance, I can't figure out things. And I love figuring out things and deciphering and translating and figuring out things that nobody else thinks about. I didn't solve all these complex problems, such as magnetism and other things, by busying my life with mundane trash that, is part of everybody else's everyday life. Garbage, laundry. I don't have a wife or kids. My wife is dead. Don't have any kids. I'm just not gonna spend my time doing that. Some people, and like my last girlfriend, crazy chick that she was. I'm fat, but I don't think about food. Obviously I'm fat because I eat too much. I sit behind the computer too much. But I never spend a millisecond thinking about. And every time I'm around somebody, and they're not fat people, they're skinny people, normal people, they'll sit there and obsess about how they're going to cook the food and how they're going to prepare it and, what they're going to drink, they're going to have. People obsess. To me, that is the most blah, mundane, unimaginably stupid thing, total waste of mental energy. I've never even once done that in my life. I'm not. And it's like the rest of the world apparently obsesses about that. Like as soon as they get done eating breakfast, and I never eat breakfast, believe it or not, as soon as they get done eating breakfast, they obsess over what they're going to eat for lunch and how they're going to fix it and how they're going to eat it. And as soon as they eat lunch, they obsess and think about how they're going to fix dinner. They literally pitter away 98% of their daily allotment of mental energy on mundane garbage. It's not that other people are intellectually inferior, it's that there's time allotment, like, you only have so much time, use the time wisely, which we've all heard that before. But there's only so much mental energy in the day. And we have to choose what we plan on doing with that. And I'm not going to spend it on looking for something, because I put it in a different place every day. I'm never going to do that. I'm not going to think about what I'm going to eat for dinner and obsess over how I'm going to cook it. I've never, ever, ever, even once done that in my life. I'm never going to do mundane stuff like mow the not that I'm against sweating and hard work. I'm never going to mow the grass again. That's the greatest boon in the world, is that when I wake up, I have 95% of my mental energy to spend on things that I want to spend it on, not mundane garbage. Actually, that's a really important topic to me. You might think this video is really obtuse and strange, but I really wanted to make it because it's actually a very important point. This is also the reason why some scientists will have 6 pairs of the exact same daily clothing. That way they don't have to think about what they want to wear. They just they open up the closet and they put it on and that's it. They're always lost in their mind. They're trying to solve big problems. I work exactly the same way. I can't spend my time thinking about or doing mundane garbage that other people take for granted. I can't do it. I won't spend my mental energy that way. Tell me what you think. I don't know if you've ever thought about this before, but I've never seen a video on this topic. It might exist. I've never seen it, though. Thank you. I love this German mineral water, by the way. It's so tasty. If you listen really closely. Jawohl. Sorry about that. Bye.